Welcome, I'm your host, Malcolm Gallagher. From our BizVision studios in the UK, you're watching the Top Gun Sales and Marketing Show on the BVTV network. I'm looking forward to meeting my guest today for a number of personal reasons. First of all, he has a long career in the travel and hospitality industry. Mine stretches back to 1972. And second, he's a committed believer in clubs, collaborations, and connections. So a lot in common between us. And lots to talk about, including the 2021 launch of his Legacy Club. So let me give a warm welcome to Chris Caffrey. Chris Caffrey. Yeah, hey, it's a good start, Chris, isn't it? Go on. Nice to see you.
Malcolm. How are you doing, Malcolm? You okay?
Right, let's get into it. Before we get into the meat of our meeting, give us a brief overview of who you are and a bit about your background.
See, for me, it's not necessarily a long and exciting background. I've spent 20 years since I was about 17 to 18. I started in the travel industry a long time ago, in a little travel agency in Holloway Road. And I got some of my best education and learning from that agency. And I don't mind saying it was Lum Poly. It was a long time ago, but I'd spent 20 years in that industry looking after various different levels of clients, and I worked my way right up to working and running a tour operator in Buckinghamshire and looking after sort of very high net worth individuals, sports stars, pop stars, football club owners and things like that. So I kind of had the bug for looking after people, looking after individuals, and making sure that they get the best for their money in terms of the travel and hospitality side. In my more later career, I sort of fell into private members clubs, and I was heading up the membership department for a very exclusive London members club that was brand new, opened a couple of years ago now. And the idea was, the focus was on entrepreneurs and to help guide them, give them a place to call home. And just the hospitality thing is in me, through and through. And it's just really where I've been sat for the last 20 years is doing that sort of thing.
I think both of us were extremely lucky. You work for Lum Poly, I work for Thompson Holidays, all part of the same group. And the training we got was brilliant, absolutely unbelievably brilliant. Let's talk about the Legacy Club, though. What's it about and who's it for? And where do you see it in the marketplace?
For me, let me start with who it's for. So when I started thinking about Legacy Club about a year ago, I thought to myself, you know what, who would my target market be? And I sat down and I went through various different stages of evolution for entrepreneurs. So from startup, that seed funding, to those angel investment businesses, to high growth, to exited. And I wanted them all. I wanted to give them a place where I can actually pick up members from all of those stages. And when I put the plan together, and when I spoke to various advisors that I've got on my panel and various people that are well adapted in this environment, actually we are pitching ourselves at the startup and scale up model. And the reason we do that is because we have a plethora of partners and suppliers that have come on board with us to offer their services to our community. And if you're a multi-exit super entrepreneur, the chances of you wanting to or needing our solicitor services or our accountancy services are probably quite slim, because they've probably got 10 of those and they don't need ours. So what we're looking at is those startup and scale up entrepreneurs and founders that are looking for that little bit of a leg up, that opportunity and safe place to raise a hand and say, I need a bit of support. Yeah, I'm really good at what I do. And my product is amazing. I'm struggling with tech, or I'm struggling with well-being. I'm struggling with accountancy for my business, and I need somebody to help me with that. And look, we don't know everything about those areas of development, but we have surrounded ourselves by partners that do, and these are partners that work specifically for entrepreneurs, so we know that they're going to be in good hands. Where do we fit in the marketplace? I think we kind of stand alone, and the reason I say that, I know there are other clubs out there, other networks, and some great names and some great networks, but I don't think, and tell me if I'm wrong, Malcolm, I don't think there are or is any other model doing what I'm doing, which is 50% down down the middle, 50% of it is content driven. How we're going to improve your business, how we're going to help you and give you support. The other 50% is, here's a load of benefits, here's a load of privileges, here's a load of reasons to use the club that are going to help you from a work and lifestyle benefit. So it could be you get an accountant, but it could also be a discount on a holiday. And they're real tangible benefits. They're not, you have to spend £10,000 with John Lewis to get £100 off, you know, that you're never going to use. And there's so many of these. I've worked in so many different environments over the years where they go, oh, we've got these great members, employee benefits program. I don't think I ever used them. What we want is our members at the end of every year go, you know what, even if I only attended 3 events that year, I got so much value from all the other side of the business. You know, I saved £2,000 on a holiday, or I managed to get an accountant for half the price it would normally have cost me. But the biggest win is the time that it's going to save you. How much time is being spent on trying to resource an accountant, a lawyer, a technician, or an engineer for your business. We want to try and stop you from having to do that nonsense.
And you're taking away the risk as well, aren't you? Because you've approved them, and, you know, because you wouldn't be promoting them if they weren't good, because that would affect the legacy club reputation, wouldn't it? So,
absolutely. And it's not that you wouldn't even need to go and second check these guys. You know, we're talking about huge names in the industry, disruptors in their own right. So people like Mazuma Accounting are our accountancy providers. Seven Legal and Bill Cogan and Seven Legal specifically look after entrepreneurs on their journey from startup to scale up. So they know what they're talking about. They know the market, and our members can feel comfortable using them.
I want to stay with that, if you don't mind, Chris, because as you quite rightly say, it's an authentic, it's a genuine offer that you got there. So it is an impressive list of advisors, which I've checked out on your website. You know, you've helped them form, they've helped form the club, its activities, its benefits. So in your own personal mind, how significant was you to have that team? And what do you think they've contributed so far from a member's viewpoint?
Well, for me, if I start with why I picked that panel, and the reason why, is because I've worked with all of them in some capacity, or they've had an impact on me in some capacity to the positive. For instance, Ben Branson or James Chiffey or Mike Penrose, I've worked with them in my former guys at the members club I was with. They were members. They added a lot of value to what we were doing at the club. And actually, I look at them and I go, you know what, they could be business heroes for a lot of people. But the main thing, when you look at them holistically, you say, actually, there's some, we pick them up for their individual skills in their industry. So we have someone in sustainability, which is Mike Penrose, the former CEO of UNICEF. So he's now has his own business called the Sustainability Group, and they are trying to make businesses more sustainable, therefore more valuable. We have James Chiffey, who's a social impact entrepreneur, trying to change the landscape for professional men, sportsmen and women after they come out of the game, addressing mental health, well-being, that sort of thing. And again, that social impact is really important. Claire Ashman, who I worked with at the former employer, she was global head of branding and marketing for Hakkasan Group. So what she knows is so valuable. And the reason I picked them is for their individual qualities. But what they've given me so far is actually, Chris, honest opinion, don't do this because this won't work. Or me as an entrepreneur would not buy it for that reason. I would buy it for this reason. So the impact that they've had on me has been huge before this, and it's even bigger now. And I really feel that their impact on the members will be phenomenal.
Yeah, I think that's really so important. I mean, I keep getting advice, particularly as, you know, you never stop learning, do you? And particularly in this digital world. And some people are saying, oh, that won't work. When I'm thinking, no, you're telling me that because that's your own agenda. So it's nice that you've got an authentic group there. No, as the organizer of business clubs myself, though no way in the same league as Legacy, I know it can be hard to keep momentum for members. How do you intend to deliver continuing engagement?
I think a key piece of engagement, it's one of the things that we've built Legacy on, is making sure that the members are getting what they want. And the only reason you'll get that is by asking them. We need to health check them. We need to say, listen, what is it that you're missing from your membership? What is it you would love to have? What event would you love to attend? And we listen. We want to make sure that they get every ounce of value out of this. And if it's just me running the show and putting out content that I want to see, then it might as well just be Chris Caffrey Club. You know, there is no real need for anyone else to be a member. We want our members to be engaged and almost have a sense of responsibility to the club. Not in the same way that BNI operates, but in the way that we want our members to feel engaged. Chris, look, I'm a member. I've been here since day one. I'd love to do an event myself about my business. Fine, that's perfect. But actually, what do you want? What do you want to achieve? And how can we make that happen? My wife gets on my back about monetizing. And I didn't start this business to make money, stupidly. I started this business to see how I can support people. And it was Mike Penrose, actually, one of our advisors, that he's something he said a long time ago that sat with me ever since, which is do good, do well. And if you do good by people, business will do well anyway. And that is why Legacy Club exists, so that we can do good for our members.
Yeah. Your wife should talk to mine, by the way. Mine keeps on going on about monetizing as well. And I keep saying, let's keep doing well. Look, some would say it's a strange time to launch a club like Legacy. What do you say to such doubters?
Well, I recently wrote an article for Startups magazine in regards to starting a business during a pandemic and why it was a good idea. There's no good or bad time to start a business generally. I can't see that there'd be many doubters about me starting a business that's designed to support other businesses. How can you doubt that? It's really been put here to support other businesses. It's not, yes, it will make money. Of course it will. For me, this will be the biggest disruptive membership environment in the UK in the not too distant future. But we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. So what we are trying to do is give people and give our founders and give our members a place that they can call a community. I'm not mad about the word network. For me, it's community, because it's like-mindedness. It's how I can help you. Business cards, done for. Who needs to swap business cards and put them away in your pocket and never be seen again? Now, this is actually, what can I do for you? What can you do for me? This is two-way street. And to those doubters, I'd say, you know what, come give us a try, because it's a complimentary membership, you know, at the very early stages of our business. So give it a try, and you'll be surprised about what you pick up. And as for starting a business now, we need more support now than we ever have. There are businesses that went into COVID and will never make it out, a lot. And in the UK, we have about 80,000 new startups a year. I think that doubled this year in the 7 months that we went into lockdown, because people thought, you know what, now's a chance for me to do something that I want to do. And I'm a firm believer of hobbies and pastimes can be brilliant businesses, but hiding in plain sight. Make a passion, run with it. And if somebody else around you and other people around you can give you some support on that, take it.
It's a great comment there. And my comment about the networking is exactly the same as yours. In point of fact, my most attended event I've ever done is Forget Networking and Start Connecting. Look, you've got a big and superb range of benefits at Legacy, including travel arrangements. What do you see as being the most used and most of value to members?
It depends, because the members' privileges, as we call them, are tiered and scaled to however much you're paying per month. You get X amount of benefits included. So people will look at it from the off and say, actually, the travel is a big bit for me. I may not need the accountancy or the tech or the well-being, but the travel side of it is going to be an important piece. I see that being a big one as we roll into 2021, but I also see the accountancy and the tech and the finance piece being really widely used, because that is available to most of our members anyway. But also, when you look at the demographic of the member makeup, it's going to be early stage businesses that need that. How much does it, you know, more often than not, it costs at least £300 or £400 to sit down with a lawyer for an hour.
Yes.
Our suppliers are going to be giving you free content throughout the year, you know, free advice, surgeries. They'll be doing consultations with them. And when you do want to go and use their services for a longer period, there'll be much better rates than you would normally pay. It's a no-brainer, and it's easier to say yes to joining than it is to say no when you look at what's included.
Yeah, very good indeed. Yeah. Now, I encourage viewers and listeners to visit your website. So the details are on the screen behind me. And for listeners, I'll point that out. It's www.legacyclub.co.uk. That's a simple one, legacyclub.co.uk. Now,
Keeping it simple, Malcolm.
Yes, I know, easy. You should see some of the ones I've had to read out, Chris. Of the varying levels of membership you've got, but I believe you can get started for free. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly. So we have, well, actually, I think it was yesterday, we reached our capacity of the complimentary memberships. So they're called Incubator. And they are for those people that just want a little taste to see what Legacy Club's like, to see where the benefits might be for them. And actually, when you step up to what we call the bootstrap membership, that's only £19 a month. And if you go through the membership types, when you look at the very top one, I sat down a couple of days ago and worked it out, and actually for £5 a day for our very top membership, you get full access to another private members club in central London, a luxury environment where you become a full member. £5 a day. That's 1.5 coffees, Malcolm. It doesn't make sense. And I've been asked to put my prices up by a couple of people on the advisory panel, but I don't want to do that, because for me, it's about giving as much value back as I can.
Yes, I agree with you. At this moment in time, putting the value in until Legacy gets started, and everybody then starts to see and feel the value. Let's step aside for a moment and tell me about the real Chris Caffrey. What drives you? What makes you jump out of bed in the morning, ready to get on with it? And also, what makes you angry about today's business world?
What makes me get up in the morning? Well, it's normally my 9-month-old, very, very early. So I have 2 daughters. I have a 6-year-old and I have one who's 9 months, born in lockdown. And I have a lovely wife and a lovely home. And for me, that is what drives me. It's making sure that I can have a nice life with my family. But the driving force behind the business is seeing so many businesses go to the wall so soon. That's what makes me angry, is that actually, why wasn't there anybody there to support them? We are founders, we are owners of our own businesses, but like I said at the beginning, we only know our product. We are not accountants, we are not website builders. So we need that support. We need a place that we can put our hand up and say, I need some help. And I do think that there's not enough people trying to support others with their businesses, because it always seems to be about what they can get out of it. For me, I would rather give people a load of support and not make a penny, but I can hold my head up high and say, you know what, I helped them out. I've made sure that they got the support that they needed, and they survived this awful situation that we're in.
I think that's extremely laudable, and I'm totally with you on people with their own hidden agendas. In the UK, we face a continuing challenge of the COVID pandemic. And then there's that thing called Brexit. You might have heard about it, and the economy. So a triple headache for business leaders. How do you see Legacy Club helping them through this triple whammy?
I think it will be the community piece as well, because of how many members we will have in our first year. You know, we're forecasting 200 members in our first year. That's 200 different individual minds. That's 200 members of a very diverse community that can add something to what you need to do, or how you're going to support your own business. I've got no fear that we're going to make it through this. You know, we don't even launch until January. We're not revenue making. We don't need to be. We've got already 55 members, but we haven't taken a penny off them, because we go back to that support function again. We don't take anything until next year. It would be crude of us to take a penny off of anyone right now, given that everybody's struggling. I think the headaches of Brexit, the headaches of, well, yeah, more than the headache with COVID, but I don't see them being a big impact on my business. If I can offer a sanctuary for our members to help them navigate this, which is a key piece of why we started this, because this is going to decimate, and it has decimated so many businesses.
Yeah.
But if we can be there in any capacity to make a connection, to introduce you to somebody that can help you or help you with a funding round, then we've done our job.
Excellent. Yes, it does get lonely in business, doesn't it? Chris,
Totally.
I like to give all my guests 3 wishes, and yours are for 2021. What do you wish for business leaders in 2021 for them to achieve success? Oh, and by the way, you can have a 4th with them joining the Legacy Club.
Well, I was going to go with that as number 1, but more opportunity, because we're seeing the supply chain dwindle, and unfortunately it's becoming a scenario now where your customer base is becoming much smaller because your customers have gone out of business. I also wrote a piece for the Finance Digest, which was about where your new business might come from. And actually, if you look at your competitors now, they will be looking and restructuring as to what they're going to do in 2021. Look at your forecasts for 2021 and look again, because your potential business leads could come from your competitors. So I would wish that everybody gets a new revenue stream, because right now we need it. We're losing them hand over fist. And a bit more prosperity for everyone, really. And obviously this vaccine can clear off as quickly as possible, or this vaccine can get involved as quickly as possible, and this virus can clear off quickly. And yeah, Brexit is a bit of a pain in the backside, but as long as we get a good deal on that, I'll be happy for everyone.
Yeah. And as I say, you can have the 4th, Chris Caffrey, of the Legacy Club by asking them to join the Legacy Club at .co.uk, legacyclub.co.uk. Chris Caffrey, thanks for a really great interview, and good luck with what it sounds like an excellent initiative.
Thank you very much, Malcolm.